While acting is not the strongest element to a Fulci film, he makes up for it with a heavy dose of visceral violence, courtesy of Gino De Rossi. The film has a few gore set pieces. A girl regurgitates her own intestines, we have brains being ripped out of skulls, but the best moment has to be when Bob has an industrial drill driven through his head. Giovanni Lombardo Radici, aka John Morghen, continues his role as horror's favorite whipping boy in the role of Bob. When we see this guy in a horror film, you know he's going to get a bad end. He got axed to death in Stage Fright, he had a hole blasted right through his stomach with a shotgun in Cannibal Apocalypse, he had his penis chopped off and then his head cut open in Cannibal Ferox, and he probably wouldn't have it any other way. How could this film even remotely end up on the Nasties list? The film was released uncut in 2004 with a 15 rating. For those playing at home, you have this movie that was associated with the worst of the worst in graphic violence and brutality, and it eventually was given the UK equivalent of a PG-13. I think this was the case of the reputation of the Italian film industry affecting a film that was very different from the common crop. As we've seen with Bay of Blood and Cannibal Holocaust and the other films we'll be covering, they were shocking, violent, and unapologetic about it. Alien Contamination was very much a tame offering, yet was lumped with this motley crew because of the believable assumption that it was as bad as the other films being prosecuted. Harold P. Warren is the man behind this infamous production. The whole thing started with a bet on the set of the TV show Route 66, where Warren had a walk-on role. Warren met with screenwriter Sterling Siliphant. Siliphant was a big deal. His TV credits include Perry Mason and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. His film credits include Village of the Damned, the Dirty Harry film The Enforcer, and the arm wrestling classic Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. While at Coffee, Warren made the claim that it was easy to make a horror film, to which Siliphant took Warren on that bet. Warren was able to gather $19,000 for financing. Casting was filled with friends and members of the local theater community. The camera used by Warren was a 16mm Bell & Howell. This camera had a number of disadvantages. It had to be hand-cranked, it couldn't record sound, which meant that all the dialogue and sound effects were added in post-production. One could only record 30 seconds of footage before having to reload.